Hey, what's good? This is Brandon. I'm Mason. We are from RVZE. Not all members of the band could be here today, but we're going to go ahead and answer all of these questions for Curtis from the Noize Azylum. That way you guys can get to know us a little bit better, and we hope that this is encouraging and insightful for any of you wanting to pursue music or arts in general, or just are looking for purpose in life. Yeah, let's get to it.
Exactly. Yeah, let's start with the first question. How did the group get its name?
So I started the name RVZE. It's very simple. People don't really know that RVZE is an actual word. RAZE. It means to destroy, right? It's a term in construction a lot. Properties get destroyed and they're rebuilt, and so RVZE needed something that was mythic. I needed something to kind of tell my story, but also the story of everybody in the band and everybody that we connect with, our fans. So RVZE, literally it's RAZE, but the A is upside down. So it's spelled RVZE on platforms, but it is an A. It's just upside down. You can remember it because RVZE means to destroy, and it's going down. Like you're just throwing shit down. You know what I mean? But you can also remember it because it's an upside down A. So from addict to venerated. The side of me that I needed to destroy was the dishonest addict into something that was venerated and held to high esteem and honor and encourages people in a positive way instead of a discouraging way. Or a negative way, I guess. I'm really bad at grammar. This kid's the lyricist. But yeah, RVZE just means to destroy, and we spell it RVZE. It's really simple. You can't forget it. It's very memorable. I started out as DJ RVZE and then went through this little messed up era of trying to be a pop artist called Prince RVZE. But
That wasn't the one.
I always wanted to be RVZE. I just didn't really think about spelling it in a unique way that would be kind of mythic for the world.
All right, then, yeah, I guess for me, it was more like it was given to me, which is kind of interesting. I feel like a lot of people come up with their names nowadays, but it was super weird. I wasn't even an artist when...
Oh, you're talking about from Midnight Merc?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was an artist, it wasn't even... Yeah, it was before I was even an artist, so me and my homies, we were kind of going through this Childish Gambino phase.
Yeah.
And we found out Donald Glover, he put his name into a Wu-Tang Clan rap name, Generator. And we were just super fanboying out. And so one day after school, we were waiting for
That's funny you mentioned
class
Wu-Tang,
to come out.
Because RVZE and RZA.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then also the martial arts aspect.
I didn't really think about that.
It all kind of ties in together. But we were just hanging out after class and we put our names in for fun, and he put his name in, and it was Vulgar Bastard or something. And then he put mine in, and he was like, yo, yours is actually cool. It's Midnight Mercenary. And then I ended up shortening it. And then once I started writing and rapping, I was like, well, shit, I need a name. And then
you have no idea who that connects with. I mean, it connected with me because obviously, it came from, how can I say it? Not really a paramilitary background, but my martial arts training was with people from paramilitary backgrounds.
Right.
So my upbringing from 16 to 25 was by real mercenaries.
Yeah.
Or security contractors, in a way. You know what I mean? The technical term. And I just remembered the values that they've gotten from the Marine Corps and the Army and the Navy and how they brought that into their security careers, into their lives as martial arts instructors. And taking these maladjusted boys and young men like myself into creating something that was unstoppable.
Right.
And I felt like that was the vibe that I got when I first heard your music. I was just like, he's wounded, he's vulnerable, and he's perfect for emo rap, but there's something about this kid that seems unstoppable. And it could be forged into a weapon, and I felt like you were a good fit for the RVZE universe. Right, Lil Bro wanted a band and Big Bro wanted rappers.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I grew up with a lot of rappers. Anybody that has had any sort of small success in music from my small town in Missouri has really only done it through hip hop. Hip hop, rap has been a part of my life and my culture since I was 5 years old. I grew up on 50 Cent. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I can't remember a day that I wasn't listening to rap, but then Linkin Park was a big aspect of my upbringing as well, and that kind of brought like the rap with the rock, and I knew that RVZE was meant to have rap on it eventually. I just didn't think that it was going to be such a strong sound. I knew we were going to collab with rappers because I had so many rapper homies. But no one in my network had the discipline that you did. And then no one could really rap on rock instrumentals the way that you could. And I was like, he's not really like someone that grew up on Linkin Park or rock rap or like Hollywood Undead or any of this stuff, but like Falling Reverse, any of it, but like he's nailing it. Like when you did your verse for New World Order, I sent it to the team and they're like, this kid's one. Like you guys need to do a duo.
Yeah, and it's like so weird because, yeah, like you said, I didn't grow up on that, but that made me always have to prove something. Like that was very much core to my brand, that always needing to prove and live up to these expectations. So I just needed to be that much better if I was going to kill it.
It sounds like a young MGK in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably like a big inspiration for you
100%.
in creating like this mythos of just being unstoppable and no one can tell you what you can do. No one can tell you can't do pop. No one can tell you can't do rock. Like
yeah, always. It's just always about pushing the limits, and again going back to like being the underdog and just being better.
I love that. Yeah.
Always pushing the narrative. Okay, so one thing that keeps me making music.
Seen that South Park episode? What? Someone took Dookie in the urinal. I get really sidetracked. Sorry.
If you couldn't tell, no, I'm just playing. What keeps me making music? I've heard on this podcast one time that there's like light motivation and there's dark motivation. Here's me going on a tangent now. But I hear a lot like athletes, like, you know, I could be better and shit. And I heard, I think it was Russ on the podcast, and he was like, well, that doesn't work for musicians because musicians have a time that's off the court. Like, you can use dark motivation when you're on the court, but it gets exhausting when you're off the court. And I listened to that and I was like, I don't know if that's true. Yeah. Because I like live and breathe the dark motivation. Like, it's when I wake up, it's when I go to sleep, it's when I'm eating, it's when I'm, you know, it's whatever I'm doing, it's always in the back of my mind, shit, I need to be better.
It's like I need to be. That really like keeps you motivated.
Yeah, and you going back to the whole discipline thing, like I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I agree. There's rappers are a dime a dozen, especially where I was from. Yeah. And here I am now, and I look back and I'm like, look how far I've come, and look how many people have fallen off along the way. Yeah. Or who get lost to distractions, whether that's girls or drugs or whatever it was. And
brother, I wouldn't have taken you under my wing if you didn't have the discipline you had.
And it's always been, and people ask me like, oh, how are you so focused? How are you like always sober? And I'm always say like joking like I'm raw dogging life, like, but it always comes back to that dark motivation again. Like I'm too angry to be unfocused. Like there could never be a moment where I look back and I'm like, I wasn't focused, and like I always need to be something more. So that always was the goal at the end of the day. And if I was distracted, I couldn't be that. Yeah. And that's really what keeps me making music.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Discipline is huge for me. That is a big thing that keeps me making music every day. Music is the only thing that keeps me disciplined. You mentioned athletes. Like, I did not have this kind of discipline as an athlete. I did not have this kind of discipline as a student in college. I didn't have this kind of discipline, sadly, as a soldier and a cadet. You know, like my commitment wasn't that deep. I was just a cadet. Like I had basic training, and then I had to get clearance for OCS, but I didn't have the discipline that a military officer has. And when I had to step away from the military for personal family reasons and traumas I was going through that were making a lack of discipline just surface, music was the only thing I could rely on. I was homeless on the streets with a guitar. That is my story, truly. I am that kid under the bridge playing the guitar, singing for people. That was my start. And being a studio rat around a lot of drugs and stuff, there was temptations and I gave into it and I lacked that discipline. And once I found a producer that believed in me and took a chance on me, like Taylor, that's when I knew that I needed it, to stay disciplined, stay sober. And a big part of making music for me was just survival. I mean, I told you my story, being that kid on the streets playing the guitar for money. It was survival.
100%.
Literally, music was the only way I could find a means to survive and eat at a point in my life until I could get sober and get a job. But then when I had those jobs, I was just miserable. And New World Order explains that right from the jump. Tired of popping benzos, not exist. Get me out of this fucking matrix. So I don't really know how to put it, but trauma is a big part of my art. RVZE is very trauma coded, and surviving trauma is a big part of my story, and it's just things that I just can't talk about.
Yeah. I mean, I feel it in the same way where it's like people get into it as a hobby, but it's like for us, it's like we need this.
It's the only way I can translate this horrors that have happened to me.
Yeah.
Is when I tell people my life in my early 20s to mid 20s has been nothing short of a horror story. I'm not exaggerating, I'm not embellishing, I'm not trying to get sympathy or get a fucking movie made for me. I'm literally just telling my story as authentically as I can, and it really was. It was a fucking horror story. Yeah. And music is the only way I can translate that. And I can speak on behalf of the other members of the band because we have honestly gone through horrors together, like Zach and I. Like we've experienced things together, and there's more seasoned players in the band, and they've had their times with hardship and breakups and dysfunctional families and stuff too. Like the horror stories have just begun.
So now let's go deeper into the goals. What's one thing you want to accomplish with the band within the next year?
Shit, I mean, we've already done a pretty good job of creating a good digital presence.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have numbers. Numbers would be nice, but that's just going to come with time because people are going to see how authentic we are.
I think the next step is just
a
shows.
Live presence.
Yeah.
More than just shows, though. Like, doing these shows in LA where 40, 50 freaking scene kids come and just, like, judge you, it's not really worth it to me.
Well, I wasn't talking about just the LA.
Yeah. No, I say we just go to all these towns. So, like, anyone out there, you reach out. If it makes sense, we'll come out and perform for you. Because, I mean, we've got things lined up in the Bay, Phoenix, back home in the Midwest. So we can make a little run. He drives a Tesla. So don't like we have to spend a whole lot on gas. Like, if you just want just us to come out and perform, we're down. But I want a live presence on the streets, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I want to build a cult following on the streets. Like, you ever seen the old Step Up movies?
Haven't, no.
Oh, shit.
I've seen a lot of things.
There's like Step Up movies where they do flash mobs, where these dance choreographers are just going out in public, and there's like just big groups of people just speaking their story with movement and motion, and I feel like we can do that.
Yeah.
Not just with music, but martial arts, free running, like anything, just action performances on the street. So you're a free runner, you're a martial artist. This is your call to action. Link up with us, hit us up. Let's get something going.
And I guess going back to the writing process, what makes a good emotional song?
Dude, honesty without oversharing.
100% agree
Which
with that.
I feel like a lot of rappers struggle with that. They're trying to fit so much in so many bars, but with rock, you can be so simple with it.
It's true.
And you were great at that with letters. Like I don't let anybody write for me, but I let you write for me just to see what it would be, and it's like you communicated my pain in just 4 bars. Like a simple line, I can't fix a broken heart with blood. Like right there, that's gonna cut deep to so many people back home.
True.
So many brothers deployed overseas. Like you have no idea what that speaks to a man. And then can't fix an overdose with drugs. Like that's just a simple line, but like that's just gonna cut deep to anybody who is just used to losing someone.
For sure.
Fucking Finney,
yeah.
You know? And, you know, New World Order, tired of popping benzos to not exist and get me out of this fucking matrix. Like, that is on a whole...
People can relate to that.
That's a whole topic. That's suicide, you know?
Yeah.
Tell it what it is. We don't sugarcoat it. And that's what comes down to good emotional songwriting is don't fucking sugarcoat it. Full send it.
Yeah.
Write about the dark shit. If you've attempted something that stupid in your life, to talk about it to people you trust. And as an artist, if you find a way to translate it in a way that's authentic and doesn't come off corny, fucking do it. And for us, it was rock and it was rap, and I don't really know what else to do to communicate with the world.
Right. And even when it comes down to that communication, like I'm so particular about writing styles.
Yeah.
Like it takes me a minute to really come up with something, or sometimes it just hits me. But I'm so particular when it comes to writing styles and communicating an idea. And like even that Pop and Benzos did not exist. Like that's so specific to you and your story.
Yeah.
Right. And again, back to the things that we talked about in letters, it's like everything is so detailed because and at the end of the day, it's real. You know, like we lived it, and then here we are saying it. So there's like there's power behind that versus someone who's saying it and didn't live it. Like people, I think, will be able to hear the difference.
And you're building onto it too. Like Letters kind of built the window for Dark Angel, which kind of gets into how do we really make a good emotional song. It's all about restraint and tension. You can feel it in our boy Zach's guitar playing, that there's just pure raw energy and tension, but also intention. A good emotional song has intentions. Anything that we do that might sound kind of off doesn't sound like pop formatted. It's intentional for that emotional delivery and the tension that people are gonna feel in their soul whenever they hear our music. And it's the imperfections. I think imperfections is a big part, like your raspy MGK vibe. That works on a record. It works live too. Me, whenever I'm fucking going way off, screaming and shit, and my voice cracks, like that's intentional. It's raw, it's real. Same with Zach, like his Chester style screams, they cut deep.
And like that's
they don't
what
have to be perfect.
Sets it apart from the mainstream. It's like it's almost too perfect where people are just kind of like
people
used
expect that, you know?
Yeah.
You're a pretty boy like rapper, you know? Me, I used to be an actor. I used to do, Hollywood's games. And music is the only way for me to be like authentic. Acting was not authentic for me. I don't identify as an actor. It's not what I was meant to do. If anything, an action performer, a martial artist on camera, that's real, that's raw, that's my discipline, that's my technique. That's taking my Sifu's training from the Midwest on camera, in the mainstream if it gets that chance. But like, music is a whole different story.
So what's the most overrated thing about being a musician? We could go on and on about that.
Main thing, visibility, attention.
Yeah. It's perception, I think, for me at least. It's like a lot of people, we were just talking about this, like we control what people want them to see, you know? And there's like, they might think a certain way, like, oh, you have this and that, but people don't see a lot of the behind the scenes, which
that's what I was literally just about to get to, is behind the scenes and the growth.
Yeah.
Because like,
and we'll post BTS and like rehearsals and stuff, but you don't see the like all the hours of work that create a certain moment or what have you.
They don't see the story. They don't see what our life was like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They don't see this kid with look at me syndrome in the acting world to like, some people made me feel uncomfortable in situations. I want more control of my life and my image. I'm gonna be a pop star. But then you just get too conceited, you get too narcissistic, and you're just like, you know what? I need a brotherhood, I need camaraderie, I need to build something from the ground up that is collective to everybody and isn't just about me.
Right.
That's growth. That's a boy to a man. And that is where a lot of artists and bands are lacking right now, because they're so focused on being seen.
Yeah.
You know, they want the numbers, they want the attention, they're chasing those viral moments and not just living in their music and living with their brothers. Like I was saying the other day, I was just like, it's kind of cool once you have this brotherhood in the band, it's like nothing matters. Anyone's opinions of us, it doesn't fucking matter because we have each other.
True.
And
it's real.
That is
the end of the day.
That is definitely underrated as well. Just the sense of camaraderie in bands, you don't really feel that.
Right.
Like when people see us, like especially young kids that are, younger versions of us, like the loners, the outcasts in high school and shit, when they see us, I want them to be like, I'm gonna have a fucking band. Like I'm gonna have my brothers one day. Like, I'm gonna go around, talk to as many people. I'm gonna find a kid playing the guitar on the street. We're gonna start a band together. Like that's the kind of vibes that I want to bring. I want to encourage not just creating art, but creating brotherhood, sisterhood, just camaraderie.
100%.
And that is extremely underrated. People aren't really getting into that. And The overrated stuff, visibility, just attention, numbers, being viral. I fucking hate that shit. But
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
And I mean, music's such a numbers-driven game, and like that's why we get so caught up in it. But at the end of the day, it's just really about creating the vision, creating the art, sending the message, and like that's really the most important part.
Right. But think about how many people that have those numbers. Like there are bands out there that have hundreds of thousands of streams, but they can't get 30 people to their show in LA.
True.
Or you have these influencers with 5 million Instagram followers, but they have 500 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Right.
And they haven't made music in like 4 years.
Yeah.
Like something like didn't connect there.
Yeah.
So a lot
They're
of
like influencer first, musician second.
Exactly.
Versus, the other way around.
A lot of artists, a lot of bands are not putting their fans first. They're not putting a movement ahead.
Right.
So many bands out here are bent on this image and this frontman and this cool guy and this story, like, look at me, I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
But there's nothing authentic to that shit. And
I
it
agree.
pisses me off.
Yeah. I mean, even from the jump, you were saying like, you had this frontman energy, but you were like, I want it to be about the band. I want it to be a story. I don't want it to be just Mason and Raze. It has to be everyone is Raze,
Exactly. Because it is a cinematic world that we're building. And if we're the only ones enjoying it, then so fucking be it. I at least enjoy it and I'm wanting to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess the final thing, what inspired New World Order?
Do you want to go first? Because mine's going to be an earful.
Sure. I mean, we kind of were together for a lot of the writing process. We were kind of escaping from LA and
the fires.
Escaping from the fires, back in January. It's like, shit, that was almost a year ago at this point.
That was like the final straw. We were like, okay, something's not right in the world right now.
Yeah,
we need to just full send it.
It just, everything draws back to the underdog narrative, but you originally wrote the hook, and I was kind of following that lead, but it was something that was very true to me in the way of, like, being young and being like feeling misunderstood, like brokenhearted in that empty alleyway, feeling like there's nothing,
we're going nowhere.
Nothing left.
Yeah, going nowhere.
Going nowhere. It's just I put my own spin on me being a nowhere kid. Like
it was also
being inadequate and heartbroken for a lot of my life, and
a lot of my art's inspired by independent film, especially '90s films. Like there's a Greg Araki film called Nowhere that I didn't even know about until after we wrote all this, but like there's a whole world behind this Nowhere Kids movement that we didn't even know existed. Yeah. And we're basically bringing it back.
I agree. And like going back to the inspirations too, like X and Juice, I've always named them as big inspirations for me.
Like
and
999 here and 888 right
and
here.
They were the leaders of the generation, and I always saw them and see there's no more leaders of the generation. They're gone, and it's like, who's going to step up? And I've talked to my friends about the same thing. Like, there's no one filling that spot since they passed.
So you're saying like the whole world that X and Juice were telling, that was kind of your inspiration behind New World Order?
I mean, just as an artist and Brandon as well. So it's like all those people that were listening to them, it's like, who are they listening to now? There's no one that kind of filled that like power vacuum in a sense.
Well, when I heard your music,
the wrong way to say it, but
when I heard your music, I'm a visionary, and I heard your music, and I was like, this could literally be like this new generation's like Lil Peep.
I strive to be that. I strive to have that fan base that's like broken, to have that fan base that I see myself in, and there's something kind of written in fate about that. Like, I have the same birthday as Juice, same day, so it always comes down to
that's crazy.
To manifestation and things happening for a reason, and the universe putting things in the right place. But that's kind of the epitome of what the song was for me, just telling that story of trying to be the underdog and not replacing, but respecting the legacy of those who came before me in terms of.
That's good. That's good that you see
leading the charge in like the lost souls, the nowhere kids, all that.
That's good that you have the self-awareness of that, because a lot of emo rappers don't, and it hurts their career big time. Right. Especially whenever like the elder emo types start trumping on them. So it's like, oh, what do you know about this person? You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. And I felt like that was a problem that I was running into when I first started doing alt pop emo rap, because I had a vibe that was very similar to Peep, and I didn't want that. I wanted to let his sound just be his sound and leave his legacy there. Right. But when I saw you and I heard you, I was just like, there's something there. There's similar vibes that we can throw into something and create like a bigger world for these lost nowhere kids, right?
Yeah.
Inspiration behind New World Order was just that fuck it moment. You ever seen Fight Club? You don't talk about it, but like fucking the moment, spoiler alert, everybody's seen it, but the narrator figures out that Tyler Durden is himself. He just hit this wall and he's just like, you know what? All of this shit that I strive to be, this man I want to look like, this man I want to fight like, this man I want to fuck like, it's me. I just need to awaken it. I have to destroy myself. I have to destroy my depressed, sad, loser self that's staying up all night, struggling with insomnia, struggling with all these mental problems, and just own it. Full send it, tell the world what you're going through, and that was what New World Order was for me. Because when those fires happened, that was like the breaking point. I was already fucking homeless in the veterans encampment at the West LA VA, and the house that I was gonna move into got fucking burnt down, and I loved that town. Altadena was a town very special to me. It reminded me of the town I grew up in, Raytown, Missouri. And it was very special to me, and I worked near Altadena and Pasadena in the car rental business. And my life was just going into shambles. I couldn't stop living this lie, pretending like I wasn't struggling, pretending like I wasn't popping benzos to not exist, pretending like I wasn't struggling with this facade that I had as a pop artist, now trying to be an iconic frontman that leads a movement. Like I had to pour the grape, you know? Graves full of old me, I'm gonna pour them out. Like I had to do that shit. I had to introduce this new me that was more relatable and more grounded and down to earth, and that isn't Hollywood. Because I didn't resonate with Hollywood at all. I felt like I was rejected by Hollywood. I felt like I was spit out.
Yeah.
And New World Order gets into that. New World Order isn't about the elites, like the Hollywood elites or the rich controlling the masses. It's about the masses reclaiming their power and having agency over themselves in times of chaos. It is inevitable that we're going to go through times of chaos. Our houses get burnt down, tsunamis get hit, tornadoes get hit. I come from the Midwest. Tornado destroyed Joplin, Missouri. People out here, like they have no idea what other people around the country have dealt with. Right. And they've overcame it, and they've rebuilt themselves. A part of them had to be raised, and then they rebuilt themselves. But New World Order was a chance for all the nowhere kids to have agencies over themselves through chaos, but us to have agency over ourselves in a world that is constantly trying to define us and put us in these boxes. Whether it's you, oh, the outcast emo rapper. Whether it's me, oh, the Hollywood reject, you know, clout chasing con man, whatever the fuck this dude called me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not who I am.
Right.
What, oh, it's because I get invited into these parties and I've actually became friends with these celebrities that fuck with you and I? But you don't see us posting videos with them, photos, like we don't do that, that's not who we are.
Right.
We're artists and we're Renaissance men, creating a movement. And if people want to join this movement, it's always open to them. Just be yourself. I'm not trying to make that in a cliche way, but like truly be yourself authentically. That is so important, not just as an artist, but as just someone that just wants growth.
Whatever you want to do in this life, you know, it's yours.
Yeah.
You got to work at it, but it's yours, and you can be that. And we're trying to lead the way for that, so.
And if you got to tap into something that is lost and young, just for many years, then do it. There's no age to art. If you need to pull out that middle school, high school kid that was rejected and thrown in the lockers, but all he wanted to do was be in a band, bring that fucking version of yourself out, but full send it. Don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
All right, this was Merc and RVZE.
thank you, Noize Azylum, for shouting us out and putting us on.